Are you serious?
Hello and welcome to another episode of How to Kill an Hour. My name is Marcus Bronzy, continuing to talk while Richie Driss in today sips a bottle of water. How's it going, man?
Very well, mate. What about you? It's good to be back. It's been a couple of months.
It has, man. It has been a while. You know, you've been away, you've been doing life stuff. We've been doing stuff.
Big time.
Separately, not together. Stuff has been stuffing. No, but honestly, bro, it's really good to have you back in the studio, man. Like, it's been a while. You're looking well.
Thank you.
You are looking well. Something's
like
different about you. Something's different in your swagger. I don't know what it is.
There's something on my left ring finger.
Way!
It's now occupied, isn't it? So that's what it is. Yeah.
Woo!
I'm an adult now. Bet Sean can't say. Can Sean say that?
I mean, he can say he's an adult. Yeah, he can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he can. But no, congratulations, man.
Very much.
Now you just have to find a wife and actually get married in real life instead of just pretending.
Is that the first joke of the week?
It is the first joke of the week. And you know what, Driss? Like, we've been out of the studio for a while, and I will catch up with you properly, bro. But I think it's time for us to step into our jokes
Of the week.
If it's your first time listening, we tell some jokes every single week. If you'd like to send your jokes in, it's jokes@howtokillanhour.com. Let's step into it. Richie Driss is going to adjust his microphone, bring it slightly closer to his lips so we can hear his dulcet tones. But I'll kick off. You ready to go?
Go for it.
Wicked. A judge says to the defendant, on the 3rd of August, you are accused of killing your wife by beating her to death with a hammer. How do you plead? Guilty, said the man at the dock. At this point, a man at the back of the court stood up and shouted, "You dirty little rat!" The judge asked the man to sit down and refrain from making any noise. The judge continued, and also on the 17th of September, you were accused of killing your son by beating him to death with a hammer. How do you plead? Guilty, said the man on the dock. Again, the same man at the back stood up and shouted even louder, "You dirty, rotten, stinking rat!" At this point, the judge called the man to the bench and said, "Listen, we've already asked you to be quiet. If you continue with these outbursts, I will have to charge you with contempt of court. I can understand your feelings, but just so I'm in the loop, what relationship do you have to this man?" The man replied, "Well, he's my next door neighbour." And the judge replied, "Well, I can understand your feelings, but you must refrain from any comments." "No, Your Honour, you don't understand. Twice I've asked if I could borrow a hammer, and both times he said he didn't have one."
Very good. Oh, that is twisted.
It is.
That was a twisted start.
It is, man. Listen, I saw your face when I was talking about hammers. You were like, how is this?
Yeah, where's this going?
I do like it when it comes out of nowhere.
Absolutely.
His wife and kid probably didn't, but
no.
You know, it's not real. It's
Sweet
not
Jesus.
a real world.
Sweet Jesus.
It's a
wow.
It's not real.
Is that me?
Yeah,
is
man.
That you? That is me. Topical one for all the football fans out there. Breaking news! Spanish police have raised concerns that Tottenham fans may take flares to the stadium on the 21st of May, because that's what they wore the last time they were in a European final. It's good, that, isn't it? That's good. I also didn't see the punchline coming as well.
Shout out to my Tottenham fans.
Sorry about that.
You
Especially as a
deserve
Man United fan. Watch them beat us now on penalties.
I can't even say
boring
anything.
0-0.
Arsenal supporter here having a bit of a being just managed to poke my head up from above all the memes that I've been getting hammered with lately. Yeah, man.
You and hammers.
Yeah. And it should be guns, really, isn't it? Right. A poor person is hanging out with posh friends. Their posh friend said, "My other half just bought me a yacht." Poor person: "Oh, how wonderful." The second person says, "My other half just got me a huge house in the coast of Tahiti." The poor person said, "Oh, how wonderful." Both of the posh friends asked the poor person, "How about your other half? Have they bought you anything?" The poor person goes, "Well, yeah, they did actually. This was more of a present for both of us. We got some dictation lessons to improve the way we spoke. So before I used to say espresso, but now I say espresso. And before I used to say pacifically, but now I say specifically. And before I used to say I don't give a flying fug, but now I say, oh, how wonderful." Simple.
That is very, very nice.
You got mates like that.
And relatable. Relatable.
We need a name for people like that. I've got like names for different mates. You know, like you got a mate that can always hook you up. I've got a he'll get it for cheaper.
Yeah.
Everyone has that I'll get it for cheaper mate. I don't know what I don't know what you call braggy mates.
There's different dynamics in every single friendship group.
Yeah.
And they sort of merge, but then also there's definite lines. So there's the one that takes the piss out of everyone.
Yeah.
But he also tends to be the richest. In my experience as well. So he can take the piss out of everyone because he is the richest as well. And he lets you know about it as well.
Wow.
I know.
No names mentioned.
No names mentioned. They know who they are.
Yeah.
A father is on his deathbed. It's a really bright start to this, isn't it? A father is on his deathbed and he's surrounded by his family. And then from the kitchen comes wafting the sweet, sweet smell of his favourite cake, cherry cake. So he says it to his son, please, this is my final wish. Bring me one last piece of cake. Son goes into the kitchen and comes back and says, no. Why not? Mum says it's for after the funeral. And do you know who that was sent in by?
Who?
German footballer Thomas Muller.
Hey!
Okay, that's not actually true. It wasn't sent in by him, but he told that story in front of 70,000 fans.
Amazing. What a legend.
Yeah.
What a legend. What a legend. Right, this is a take on a classic. You may or may not have heard this. Two guys sneak into a farmer's fruit farm and start eating the fruit. The farmer sees them and comes out with a shotgun. Since you guys like fruit so much, why don't you go and pick 100 of whatever fruit you want and come back? Otherwise, I'm going to get some of my associates to look after you. The first guy comes back and he's decided to pick some grapes. The farmer cocks a shotgun again and says, now shove them up your ass. Eventually, the guy manages to get 100 up his ass. He feels really bad, but then starts laughing uncontrollably. Why are you laughing? Asks the farmer. The guy replies, my friend is out there picking melons. Hey.
That's strong and brave.
So what would you pick? Let us know.
Yeah, oh my God. Oh, sorry, first 7 if you aren't there.
Yeah.
A man is watching adult movies on his PC in his home office when his wife walks in and he quickly switches to golf videos. She hands him mail that arrived and as she leaves the office says to her husband, switch back to what you were watching before, love. There's no way your golf is going to get any better, but maybe you can learn something from the porn.
Man!
Oh, wow. That's just wit.
Yeah, that is, isn't it?
That's just excellent wit.
Yeah. I mean, listen. I think he had a result there. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely.
There was once a man and woman who had been married for more than 60 years. They shared everything. They'd talked about everything. They'd kept no secrets from each other except that the little old woman had a shoebox on top of her closet that she cautioned her husband never to open or ask her about. For all of these years, he never once thought about the box. But one day, the little old woman got very sick and the doctor said she'd never recover. In trying to sort out all of their affairs, the little old man took down the shoebox and took it to his wife's bedside. She agreed that it was time that he should know what was in the box. He opened it and found 2 knitted dollies and a stack of money totaling 25 grand. And he asked her about it. She said, when we were to be married, my grandmother told me that the secret of a happy marriage was to never argue. And she told me if I ever got angry with you, I should just keep quiet and start knitting a dolly. The old man was moved. He had to fight back the tears. Only 2 precious dollies were in the box. She'd only been angry with him 2 times in all those years of living and loving. But he said, darling, why is all of this money in the box? How did you manage to save it? She said, oh, I made that from selling the dollies.
Excellent. Excellent. Crafted joke. I want that to be made into a film.
The dollies.
Women always called me ugly until they learned how much money I have. After that, they just called me ugly and poor.
Funny, but you're not ugly, Rich.
Thank you.
You're not ugly, bruv.
Thank you.
A man enters a confession booth. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Go on, my child. You may confess, replies the priest. Every day for the last 6 years, I've been sleeping with women who are not my wife. I see. And this brings you guilt, young man? No. I mean, yes, Father. They're really hot. And you find them more attractive than your wife? Of course not. My wife is smoking hot, I guess, but I'm digressing. Look, Father, can I just be forgiven, please? Says the father. Squeeze 10 lemons or limes and drink all of the juice. Right away, Father. And will that help to absolve my sins? No, but hopefully it'll wipe that stupid grin off your face.
Shaking my girlfriend's dad's hand. Great grip, sir. I see where she gets it from. Oh my God. The ratings I would give anyone for actually saying that to their future father-in-law.
I've got a friend of mine in front of his in-laws said something along the lines of, he said, I don't know what it was, but he said a dig Vic joke. Like, you know what they say, like about himself in it, like, you know, big hands, whatever. And apparently he got nothing back from the family. It was like silence. First time meeting the family, and he's like, okay. I don't know if they're still together, by the way.
I once watched a film with an ex, and it was a really sad film called The Impossible. You've seen it? Ewan McGregor, Tom Holland.
No.
About the tsunamis in Thailand.
Jesus Christ.
Really sad film. I was lying on her lap and she was crying into my ear. And like drips were going into my ear from tears. And then at dinner, we were talking to her mum and saying what an upsetting film it was. And I said, oh, yeah, it was so upsetting. And she was crying so much, she gave me a wet willy. Because, you know, if you lick your finger and stick it in your ear, it's a wet willy. Yeah. But she didn't know what a wet willy was. She was looking at me like, sorry, wait, you cried so much she gave you a wet willy? What does that even mean? When I realised what I just said, it still gives me trauma.
Did you stop the meal then and did you go through the pain of explaining, or did you just brush past it?
No. Eventually I explained what a wet willy was.
In the dinner?
Okay, right. Because the look on her face was like, how does that connect to having sex? Her crying to a wet willy.
Look, I like to think we're quite like progressive, but you got to have a little bit of concern if somebody's like openly saying at dinner,
Baffling.
just, you know what, someone crying, fucking
baffling.
Makes me
really
stiff like bull.
The absolute nonsense, confusion in that communication. It was completely lost in translation.
Nice.
And I've gone red because it was so embarrassing.
I love those ones where you crack a joke and no one bites, and you just you feel like you're the episode of The Office, innit? You're just like, oh shit.
Yeah. The worst thing was it wasn't a joke, it was just a metaphor. It went horribly wrong.
What if she was into it? Oh, really? I mean, sorry.
Imagine.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, right. Right. This is about confusing words. Two simple cowboys are having a bite to eat. They're talking about their moonshine operation. Suddenly, a woman eating a sandwich at a nearby table starts coughing. After a minute or so, it becomes apparent she's in real distress. One of them looks at her and goes, "Can you swallow?" The woman shakes her head. Then he asks, "Can you breathe?" The woman begins to turn blue while she's shaking her head. The man walks over to the woman, lifts up her dress, yanks down her drawers, and quickly gives her right butt cheek a swift lick with his tongue. The woman is so shocked that she has a violent spasm and the obstruction flies out of her mouth. As she begins to breathe again, the young man walks slowly back to his table. His partner says, "You know, I heard of it, but I ain't never done seen a Heimlich maneuver."
Very nice. Again,
a Heimlich. Some people call it that. That's an egg corn. You know what an egg corn is? We've done this on the show before.
No.
Egg corn is like pacifically instead of specifically. So some people thought acorns were egg corns.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
No.
That's where it came from.
That's
Somebody penned egg corn. I'm not even joking.
That's incredible.
Let me I'm going to write origin instead of etymology because it is
that is incredible.
Inspired by the cunning linguist Jeffrey Pullum in 2003. There you go. Yeah. So yeah, nice. Yeah. Education and jokes.
This one, as my mates would say, is less joke, more fact.
Go for it.
I used to think drinking was bad for you, so I quit thinking.
Let's go. That's my mantra, baby. Beer me up.
Alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's
cure and the cause. You know it. When a woman's husband died, she learned that he had left $30,000 for her to be used at an elaborate funeral. After everything was done at the funeral home and cemetery, she told her closest friend that there was absolutely nothing left of the money. "How can that be?" her friend asked. The widow replied, "Well, the funeral cost $6,500. I made a donation to the local church of $500, and I spent the other $500 for the wake, and the rest went towards a memorial stone." "The memorial stone cost $22,500, said her friend. "My God, how big is it?" 4.5 carats, replied the widow.
Nice. The nurse at the sperm bank asked me if I'd like to masturbate in the cup. I said, "Well, I'm pretty good, but I don't think I'm ready to compete just yet." Oh my God.
Right, should we do the next? All right, let's do the next two that are in there. Fuck it. Boyfriend to girlfriend. "I'm not a piece of meat. You only want one thing and it's disgusting." Girlfriend. "Yeah, you're right. It's disgusting. So wash it properly.
Oh. What does a battery and a butthole have in common?
I don't know. What does a battery and a butthole have in common?
You're not supposed to lick batteries.
Groceries. There you go. Those are our jokes.
Of the week.
There we go, man. Right. So if you want to send your jokes in, it's jokes@howtokillanhour.com. Now, Driss, I'm British. You're British. I believe. Are you British?
Yeah.
Very British. Got a passport? Everything?
I do.
Good. Just checking. You never know. Could be masquerading. No, you know. But yeah, we're two British people, and we, there's one thing about British people, right? Is we have, like every country, or like every kind of country, culture in the world is the best word. Yeah, like every culture in the world, we have our own kind of
idiosyncrasies.
Oh, what? Gosh, it's like I'm saying words and you're finishing the end of
sentences.
Oh, it's crazy out there. Man, it's like I've not had as much, but you've had enough
coffee.
Oh, it's crazy.
Butthole.
What?
Was that not?
I was actually thinking that as well.
Oh,
I was like, it's like you've licked, but yeah. All right, so I've just got a little thing for us to talk about, Driss, and it is called Ways to Piss Off a British Person. Stand on the left side of an escalator.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. Unnecessary.
Put milk and water in before the tea bag.
Milk and water in before the tea bag?
Yeah, milk and water before the tea bag.
As opposed to... Sorry, no, let's
put milk.
Yeah.
And then water and then the tea bag.
That's
so put
specific.
either of those... Yeah.
Or either of them.
Or to put milk in before and then the tea bag. Or put milk in before the tea...
I'm not that pressed on that one,
okay.
personally.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Water, definitely.
We'll get back to that one, man.
Okay.
Fail to put a divider on the conveyor belt at the till. You know when you've done your shopping?
I always do it, but if someone doesn't do it to me, I'm not too fussed.
I'll get through these ones. Boil water for tea in the microwave. Join a queue, but not at the end. Ask if they want a pint and bring them half. Call football soccer.
Oh, that last one. Get in the bin.
The pint one's mad for me. Someone goes, do you want a pint? And they come back with a half. I'd be like,
it's not a pint.
Where's the rest?
That's like saying you could literally swap that for anything. That's like saying asking for a Coke and coming back with a lemonade.
Yeah. Do you know what? You ever go to a friend's house? Like I don't know if you notice in the studio, I have a lot of pint glasses and large glasses here, or big bottles for water and stuff like that. Because I hate being asking for a drink or being offered a drink at someone's house if it's water and they give you like a shot cup of water, like a shot glass of water. I'm like, this is how you.
Yeah. That's not enough to hydrate me.
Yeah. Well, you just
like here.
You lot just want to catch kidney infections out here for fun, then, innit? Right. In this house, yeah. You're not hydrating. Yeah, I get very. I don't know why that gets to me.
Desert me.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah.
But then also, I am so scared of imposing myself on people that I would never say anything.
No.
At all.
But if it's a really good mate of mine, I'd be like, yeah, wicked. I'll have the rest, thanks. That was a nice taster.
Yeah.
Are we doing shots? That's what I'd be like. If I don't know them, I might just leave. But so what got you most out of all of those then? What grind?
The soccer football one.
Yeah.
That irritates the hell out of me.
Do we know how that happened?
Yeah. Soccer is actually it actually came from the UK, from Britain. It's
really?
Slang. Yeah. Because I think, now I could be wrong, and please have a go at me, let me know if I am wrong. But I think that soccer was a slang term for football because there was also rugby football.
Right.
So, for some reason, rugby is rugby football because rugby was born out of football.
Right.
When someone picked up a ball and ran with it.
When a keeper just decided to start smashing everyone up. Yeah, cool.
So, soccer was then a slang term coined to differentiate between football and rugby, but no one calls rugby football at all. Ever. Right. So now it's just sort of stuck, and the Americans have adopted it. So Americans at one point were like where they were like rugby football, soccer football. This is probably before maybe America was created. Okay, cool. Maybe this is how far back it goes. I don't know the dates, to be honest. Yeah. All I do know is it really does my head in, because football is, in America, is you kick the ball once after a touchdown. Yeah. Or for, I can't remember the correct terms, but yeah, you don't play football in America with your feet. Yeah. Mostly it's handwork, hand egg. Hand egg, hand egg is what they call it. But it's completely illogical and completely irrational to refer to their football. Call it NFL. I know there's different leagues.
Yeah.
Call it NFL.
NFL, I like. Yeah. And I'm not. The thing is, when you get into this discord, it's an argument with somebody. They think that you're dissing the sport.
Call that soccer.
Yeah, they think you're dissing the sport. I'm not dissing the sport. I just don't like the name of it.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
it makes no sense.
You get me? It's like what's the Olympic sport where they have to sweep the floor? Curling. Curling is a fantastic name because you've taken what is essentially a very boring sport, right? Yeah, and I do watch it during the Winter Olympics, to be honest. Right, it's interesting, but they've made it sound a bit sexier. Like, we're doing, just go and do a bit of curling. Do you know what I mean? It sounds like your biceps. Sounds like you're at the gym banging weights.
All that.
Yeah, I'll go curling on the ice. Yeah, all right, whatever. Yeah.
And do you know what?
So good, it gave me a wet willy.
I've done curling. I've played curling.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You've curled one off.
Curl one out on ice.
Is it? What's it like? Did you do it when you was?
Fascinating.
Did you do it when you was at BP?
Yeah. It's fascinating.
It's harder than you think, isn't it?
It's like. Did you ever play like? Is it bowls?
Bowls.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like. Yeah. It's like that. So,
did you have to wear the special spiky shoes?
Ice skates.
They wear skates. I thought they wore spiked trainers. I didn't know. I've no knowledge because they look so mobile.
I'm sure I was wearing. No, if I wasn't wearing skates, I was wearing specialist shoes for the sport because then you get to glide. You glide. Remember, you got to glide on the ice. Your spikes would be very, very anti-glide
because you'd have to hot step across the ice and it would mash up the ice.
Big time.
But at least you're not wearing those very functional trainers in a fashion environment. Because you showed me those ice shoes, but you've showed me a little trend recently that's. We can get into it real quick, bro.
I don't think it's it can't be a serious. Because there's this trend, and when I say trend, I mean I saw it on a post on Instagram once this morning, but there was enough footage to back it up, and also it speaks to the wider thing of people wearing like Coupe Mondiales, the classic Adidas football boot, the AstroTurf version, just out and about. But what they're doing is they're making themselves the butt of the joke when you've got a job interview at 5, but you've got Power League at 6. And owning it, and it makes no sense to me at all. It doesn't make sense.
It's called #BootsOnlySummer, isn't it? Like, I've googled it, I promise.
Right.
#BootsOnlySummer, and people are basically wearing, just for American contingency or those that call soccer, they're wearing soccer shoes,
cleats,
soccer cleats, not soccer sneakers, soccer cleats, the full ones with the clippity cloppity studs in them,
metal, or moldy studs. Studs.
Do you know what? I know as tall people, right? I reckon short people are doing it to get up there. It's another fucking excuse.
Okay. So there's some logic to it. I mean,
it gives you a little
very fallible logic.
I just don't remember them ever being comfortable. I don't ever remember them being comfortable to wear off the pitch. On the pitch, great for 90 minutes, but I don't ever remember them being like, I could wear these all day long. They don't scream comfort to me. They scream function. They scream grip. They scream protection from the elements when you first get them. Anyway, my football boots at the end of their life are like fucking sponges. They'd soak up all the water. But like, let's be honest, though, Driss, we come from a different generation where we wore functional footwear in a non-functional environment. You came up on Timberlands with me, didn't you? We did wear Timberland boots, which are officially. They're a walking boot, I believe. Yeah. I had never worn Timberlands on a mountain.
Are they walking?
Are they hiking boots?
Or are they work boots? I think they're work boots.
Work boots.
And the same, like, I'm literally wearing like Carhartt shorts right now. Not to name drop a brand, you can pay me later. But it's workwear.
It is for work and outdoor activities. Yeah.
So we, quote unquote, shouldn't be wearing them. But then you could boil that down to Jordans.
Yeah.
As you said, Converse.
Yeah,
Air Force Ones. Yeah. Every trainer is probably originally like a running shoe.
Yeah. It's mad that Converse used to be like basketball trainers. Crocs. Crocs. He's putting up my Mandalorian Crocs at the moment.
What are they for? Crocs?
Everything.
No.
I've worn Crocs walking. Yeah. I've worn them on a plane. I could go for a walk. I wouldn't go for like a
When you say
hike.
walk, you mean to the shop?
To the shop. I've gone for a long walk. I've worn them all day. I've done 10k plus in Crocs. And my feet have felt fabulous. Because you've not tried them though. The thing is, it's a slippery slope because you'll put them on and they'll be like, they're my wearing in the house shoes. Then they're my run into the car to get something out of it shoes. And then all of a sudden, it's fine. Yeah, but you'll find that the Crocs will just land on your feet. They'll just be top of the pile. You'll grab them and you'll slowly find that they're going to become your utility shoe. If I could, I'd wear them all the time.
Blasphemy.
I've worn Crocs to the studio, my outdoor Crocs, and then put my indoor Crocs on.
You got...
These are my studio Crocs. They are the Mando Crocs. They're for here.
Okay. I'm not going to argue with you anymore. I'm just going to look at you with disappointment.
You got to know that there has to be an element of comfort in me. I'm not a fashion follower, right? But I'm not going to put something on.
That.
I'm not going to put something on crazy mad to be like, yo, look cool. So there must be a reason I'm wearing this.
Get that. You're not going to wear football boots on concrete.
No, I'm not going to, unless they're super comfortable. And if I did, if I was like, look, the reason I'm wearing them is because they're really comfortable. That would be the only reason I'm wearing them, right? Yeah. I wouldn't do it. I did. I told you, I wore Timberland boots. They were very uncomfortable for me, actually, Timberland boots. I didn't like them too much because the size I had to get them in because I got such a long foot.
Size
there was
87.
Yeah,
okay.
so I had to stuff socks in them to stop them looking all... Because if I tied the laces over my slim foot, it looked like a public hanging of my feet. The tops of the boots would be touching. You couldn't have that. You had to have that Dipset energy.
Yeah.
So I put socks in them to like fill out the boots.
That's actually a good shout. I'll remember that.
Yeah, man.
Come winter.
Yeah. But I remember my feet burning at the end of the day after wearing those, man. But yeah, man. So yeah, Crocs is it's just pure relaxation, man. I got K onto them. I haven't.
God damn it.
Shout out to Foot Locker though for gifting me these.
They gift you them because no one would buy them.
Mate, these are Mandalorian ones, bruv.
They could be Doom ones or...
If I got you a pair of Doom Crocs, you wouldn't at least try them on?
I'd take them.
Would they be? You'd wear them for gaming at least? Would you put them?
I'd wear them full stop.
Yeah, okay, cool. I do want to talk about Doom actually, but one more thing before we step into this if you've got time. Right, so... Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Let's get into our killer bit, man. Let's do it, man. I've not got a jingle for it, unfortunately, but it's a part of the show every week where we talk about how we've killed some time. Now that you said you're going to wear... Honestly, if I get you Doom Crocs, will you wear them to game?
I promise.
Will you post it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. See, that's... All it takes is that, you know, bro. All it takes is that. You'll slip a bit... Once you slip your feet into them, right, you just get your feet in. And you feel the... massage that you get from the little nibs that are on the bottom of the Crocs, like on the inside, once they caress your feet with or without socks. And also you can put them in sports mode if you really want to get active and move around out there. Oh man, they're so comfortable. I'm a comfort guy with trainers. I'm all about comfort.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah,
but there's also a line to be trodden.
Really?
Yeah, there's a line to be trodden.
Where is the line for you then?
Not looking like you're homeless.
I've got to admit, they've got the most streamlined flex on them, have they?
Today, I've got to say,
I'm doing
top half.
Yeah, good.
Lazy hungover Sunday.
Top half is looking ready for gaming. I like it. Shout out to himself for the t-shirt. There you go.
Bottom half, you got a rugby match.
I got a rugby match, or I've just played in it. I've got my.
You've just yeah.
I've got my what do we call them again?
And an ankle down homeless.
I've got my compression socks on, my compression ankle socks on, and I've got a pair of socks on, which if I'm honest with you, I've realised these socks are a bit old. They need to get in the bin. They're actually quite worn away at the back. Look at that. That is quite homeless.
You are.
I'm looking rough, innit?
Walking hobo.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, man. Right. Anyway, Doom. Right.
Yes.
Now, as we speak, the game is out. You've been talking to me about.
Sorry, I just stepped all over you.
Is it not out when the episode goes out?
When the episode goes out.
Yeah, so as we speak...
So sorry.
As we speak, the game is out. But when we're recording this, the game is not out. So we are actually giving you an exclusive on Doom. Now, Driss, I got to be honest with you, bro. You are the authority at How to Kill Now when it comes to Doom. Because whilst I have interest in Doom, I know a bit about it. It's a game that's probably been one of the most...
influential.
Culturally... Yeah, influential, and in terms of gaming culture, culturally important games. Technologically, it's a groundbreaking game, which we can get into as well because of just the way that it was made. And it kind of changed what our idea of gaming was. Now, again, my first experience of Doom was speaking to my cousin who played it, who told me all about this awesome game that you played. It's crazy, it's graphic, it's violent, it's scary, and that was my experience when I was younger, and that was my intro to Doom, was just hearing about this game that's supposed to be scary and like spooky, and there's monsters, and kind of for me it went from there. It led on to like Wolfenstein and Duke Nukem and stuff like that. All of those kind of things are all mishmashed in my memory from when I was younger in terms of like games just being wild. But what is Doom for you?
Well, first of all, I need to pull you up
sorry,
because if I don't, someone is definitely screaming at the podcast because I would.
What have I done?
I would be screaming.
What have I done?
Wolfenstein came before Doom.
Oh yeah. That's why I said it's like a mishmash.
Sorry,
it's like a mishmash in my head. That's why I was like Duke Nukem and Wolfenstein.
So, Wolfenstein invented the first-person shooter,
yeah.
but then the makers of Wolfenstein then made Doom.
Yeah.
So although Doom didn't create the first-person shooter, it popularized it.
Exactly.
It's so influential that it went on to the U.S. Army used it to train some of their soldiers.
Yeah.
It's just a mental thought. Yeah. It is one of the, if not the most influential computer game of all time because it popularized a whole genre. As I said, Wolfenstein created it, but if it wasn't for Doom and also Wolfenstein, you wouldn't have your Duke Nukem's, Quakes, Halos, name a shoot 'em up, Call of Duties, all of them. You just wouldn't have them. They wouldn't exist. It's my first memory of gaming, Doom 2, 1994.
Really?
My first memory. My uncle playing it. First, I can literally remember the level. I can literally remember the monitor. I can remember exactly what was going on the screen at the time, and thinking, "What the hell is this?" And then my mum coming in and saying, "Get the hell! This isn't for your eyes.
It's for adult, isn't it? It's adult.
You're
game,
5 years old.
Yeah.
This isn't for you." But I started playing it anyway, and so the latest one has come out, Doom: The Dark Ages, which, if you've sort of kept up to date, you would know from the most recent Doom Eternal, which came out in 2021, that every single Doom game is in the same canon. There's a huge plot twist in that game, and Doom has never been about the story. So the fact that this happened blew my tits off. It was mad that all of a sudden all of these games are linked together. So this Doom, The Dark Ages, out now, serves as a sequel to Doom 2016. This might be one of the most confusing things you've ever heard.
I'm on board now. I'm with you.
Okay.
So this current game that is out right now, today, the time of listening to this, is not the sequel to the last game. It's prequel
to Doom 2016.
There you go.
Okay. And the thing that I adore so much about id Software is that they don't ever follow trends. They set them. They do their own thing. They don't see Call of Duty and think, "Oh, we're gonna do a cover-based shooter with regenerating health and it's all going to be very cinematic." They don't do that. They do their own thing. Now, there was a time where there was a Doom game that ended up not being released, which was basically Call of Doom, Call of Duty game in the Doom universe.
Call of Doom,
that rolls right off the tongue. And they scrapped it. They were like, "Nah, let's do our own thing," and that's what Doom 2016 was all about, doing their own thing. In this, again, they've completely reinvented the wheel because they've actually gone back in time a little bit and they've taken aspects of Call of Duty in terms of the cinematic nature of it with cutscenes and story-driven action, which has never been done in a Doom game before, and they've combined it with the original Doom's sort of slower, more purposeful combat, as opposed to the last two Doom games, which were rapid, which was sprinting around, jumping around, really hard work, but really gratifying once you got through some of the combat scenarios.
They were like, the last two Doom games for me were the kind of game that I needed to smash a couple Red Bulls and
Big
get
time.
into. Like, you
Big
couldn't
time.
have a lazy play.
Not
It wasn't a
unwind.
Sunday hungover. I think it was like carnage, high frame rate, blood and guts everywhere.
Intense. So intense. And
Ridiculous as well, isn't it?
Oh,
and I want to ask you, obviously, I'll get to it, but I want to ask you, like, in terms of like the levels where this Doom has taken it to, because you've mentioned it's a little bit more tactical, like in terms of how you think, or a little bit less.
It's not
wild.
So in the last game, they took 2016, which was very, very fast paced, and which was it was push forward. So
Yeah, always.
it was risk reward.
Yeah.
So if you get in close to someone and you do what they called a glory kill, which was like decapitating someone and then stabbing them with their own arm bone or whatever it was, Mortal Kombat-esque,
Yeah.
you then got rewarded with health and ammunition. So it wasn't about taking cover and hiding behind cover until your health regenerated. No, you had to push forward. They then ratcheted that up 3,000% for Doom Eternal, where it was that, and then different weapons for different scenarios and different weak points on the enemies. So, for example, you could put a scope on your assault rifle to turn it into a sniper rifle, which would then destroy weapons on various enemies. And you were swapping weapons left, right, and centre. It was so quick. It was, as you said, it was a real workout. This, so far, is a lot more the closest thing to a remake of the original Doom games as possible, in that the projectiles themselves are a little bit slower. You can use any weapon to kill anything, and there are weak spots and there are
preferred weapons, right?
Sorry,
There's like weapons that work better.
yeah,
against
there are
enemies,
weapons that work better in different scenarios, as with every single game.
Yeah.
But you're not as beholden to those weapons in those scenarios as you were on Doom Eternal.
Okay, so you could just roll with your chainsaw.
There's no controversially, there's no chainsaw in
What?
this. I mean, it's the Dark Ages. So
Oh, yeah,
it's,
to be fair,
it's
yeah.
future from here. But
Yeah, to be fair,
in time as well. But there is the biggest addition is the shield.
Really?
You get a shield. You get a shield in this game,
Okay.
and the shield has a sword that rotates around the outside of it. So if you imagine Captain America has his shield and he dashes it at bad guys. Mm-hmm. Cool, that's one thing. Now imagine blades surrounding it that you know what the word that basically switch on and spin around the
They
shield.
were okay. Yeah.
Were
yeah.
like a whirring blade.
Yeah.
So you throw the shield, it decapitates people, and then the bigger demons, it gets stuck in and it spins and spins and spins and saws them up.
Oh shit.
So it's a chainsaw crossed with a shield. It's bad.
Nice.
It's incredible.
And you like listen. You got it last night. You got it yesterday. The codes came in, and you literally were straight on it, man.
Early access.
And before, like, I'm gonna ask you how good it is, but how bloody is it? Silly question.
Oh, ridiculous.
Is it proper?
Oh yeah. Proper like adult game. Like no holds barred.
Yeah.
The violence is. It's a Doom game. It has to be violent. It has to be.
Is it very hard?
So I have always been a PC game player. Like mouse and keyboard has always been the thing for me. And then I couldn't keep up with technology when I was younger, and I built PCs myself, but I couldn't keep up with having to update my graphics card. I couldn't afford it, so I ended up getting consoles. Doom Eternal would be infinitely better. It was almost too much like hard work playing on a console for me. Mouse and keyboard would have been the way to go. I had to play that on like, of 5 difficulties, I think I had to play it on like 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Because I just couldn't. And I am a decent first-person shooter gamer. But give me a mouse and keyboard, I would have gone up to 4 or 5 out of 5. This is a lot more forgiving, thankfully. It's a lot more forgiving. It's tough. I've died a couple of times already, and I've only like played it for about 3 hours. But I think it's as tough as it is rewarding, and it's fair, and the difficulty curve isn't quite as steep.
Okay, so if someone's brand new to Doom, do you think they could step into this and crack on with it?
Yeah. I wouldn't have, honestly, the last game, I don't think noobs to shoot 'em ups. Do people still say noobs?
Yeah, noob, man.
Yeah. I don't think noobs to shoot first-person shooters could have played the last game. This is more forgiving, and I prefer it because I'm playing it on PS5. Whereas if I had a PC, I'd relish the challenge a little bit more because I'd be able to adopt a mouse and keyboard like back in the day, and that muscle memory would kick in.
And obviously, presumably, it runs smooth as butter on a PS5, no stress.
It looks beautiful without getting too much into the weeds. Brand new game engine, id Tech 8. It looks stunning. It plays smooth as anything. And the sort of the UI, the not only the UI, but the feedback that you get from launching the shield, from the shotgun, from all of that, from uppercutting a zombie in the face is just beautiful, and that with the haptic controller as well.
Yeah, because you're playing on PS5, so you're enjoying that.
Yeah.
Nice. The reason I asked about how it ran is because obviously the history of Doom, the original game, is the game that could be run on anything. We've seen it run on
Calculators.
I've seen it run on calculators. Yeah, that was one of the maddest ones that I saw. Like running a calculator, people have
pianos, ATMs.
Yeah, all sorts of stuff. Because the game was so light, or the way it was designed, kind of revolutionized the way people program games. They were like, "Hang on, this could run on anything." But the calculator was probably the best one that I saw.
Yeah,
that's absolutely nuts out there, man. So I think I'm gonna have to come back to you and ask you at some point how the rest of the game is, because you've only had a night with it. So do you know how far? Do you feel like you've got quite far through it? Do you feel like there's quite a lot?
No.
to do?
I know there's 22 levels. I'm on the third.
Big levels then.
Yeah.
Are you trying to 100% it?
I will be 100. I will be doing my best to 100% this game, because they give you the auto map from the beginning, and some people might like this, some people might not, but it does point out where the collectibles are. It's one thing knowing where they are; it's another thing getting to them. But I like the puzzle of trying to get to them. There's no multiplayer in this game. There will be DLC. Doom created multiplayer deathmatch. It did.
Yeah.
But I'm not mad. I'm much more of a single player story focused person. So for it to be classic Doom with blockbuster cutscenes, cinematic blockbuster cutscenes, although Doom has never really been about the story, I adore it.
So the story's pulling you in as well then this time around, like you're invested in the story?
The story is pulling me in because I'm such a nerd for Doom.
Okay.
It's not something that's like, it's more a summer action blockbuster. So it's less Last of Us, more not Fast and Furious, because I hate those films, but big fun.
Aliens?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Final question on this. Did you play it with the lights on or the lights off? Right. Was it dark though? Because it's summertime here in the UK.
So this is what I was going to say. Is I did my very, very best to wait until the sun went down, because I had it installed at 1 p.m. and I was like, I really want to play it. And I waited my best and tried my hardest to wait until the sun went down at 9:30, whatever it is now, and I couldn't do it. So all I did was wait until the glare on my TV wasn't as bad. 7 o'clock.
And then got busy.
7:30, and then got busy.
Well, there you go, man. Shout out to the guys over at Bethesda and all the likes for sending us over that game.
Absolutely,
I'm yet to get my hands on it. It's downloaded. I'm ready. It's ready to go. I'm a lights on guy. Headphones quiet. I'm shook with Driss, man. No. I'm shook, bro.
Do you know what? Do you know what my favourite thing about this is? It's not a horror game, not like in the first one. They're scared of you. Hell is scared of you. You are a fucking badass.
Yeah, okay.
That's the whole sort of twist of this.
Yeah.
They're all scared of you, and they are sending the armies of hell at you because you take names.
Oh, maybe
it's a proper power fantasy.
Okay, because I've mentioned this so many times on recent podcasts, like all the ones I've been on, is I'm learning how to play games and enjoy them more by getting into the right mindset for them. Mm-hmm. So, like, did I speak to you about Indiana Jones, or was this or someone else? Like, I said that I didn't enjoy it when I first played it, and I realized because I was playing it wrong. Does that make sense? Like, it's like
not a first-person shooter like Doom is.
Yeah, you got to take time, be inquisitive, wait and watch. Where, and it might be I might get into more Souls games in the future, because I get it. Souls games isn't about, like you said, push forward, and smash it, because it's a really short game. Otherwise, it's about dying. Dying is part of the game, and maybe it's because I come from the generation of when you died, it was game over. You ran out, and your money was gone. So that was it. You had one chance to play, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like at the arcade game, but like when at the arcade spot, at the arcade box. But like now, part of a game is dying and working out how and when and where, and it's like inquisitiveness can win. So I think it's helping me to enjoy a wider range of games this year so far, shall I say, over the last 12 months, has been getting into gear for every game. So with Doom, whilst it might not be something that I would automatically go for, if I had my shillings, I'll go into it with that mindset, and I'll let you know how I get on with it, man.
It's one of those, the recent games, Doom games, 2016, Eternal, and this. The thing that they've got in common is that every encounter is a little bit of like a puzzle. Okay. In that you sort of scan the landscape and you pick out who you want to take out first, who's the biggest danger to you, and who's the weakest danger to you, who isn't posing much of a problem, and then you use your supplies and all that kind of thing to best effect to be able to take names. How do you play? Do you go in like a fucking badass though? Do you go in and you're like, you are just nuts? Like as I said, the Captain America shield is incredible. There's a sort of move that you can pull off, which I have done, where you stood on top of a mountain. This one scenario, no spoilers, don't worry. You come out of a cave and you stood atop this battlefield, and there's so many more enemies on screen than there was in Eternal or Doom 2016. It's proper like the old school classics where there's hordes, 30 enemies on screen at once, and you overlook this battlefield and there's shit kicking off in the distance, building sized demons in fights in the distance before you then fight them. But scan the landscape below, 30, 40, 50, whatever there is. But with the shield, now you can use it as a weapon to draw you in to the combat. Like there is for anyone who played Doom Eternal, there was the meat hook on the shotgun. So you fired this meat hook into people and it drew you into them. You do that with the shield now. So I jumped into the air, locked onto someone, and zipped into them and took a load of them out with the shield. Ah, jeez, I'm such a nerd, but I love it.
Excitement, boy.
As I said, the power fantasy is on point.
Nice. Well, there you go, man. Doom out now, as we speak.
Go and buy that game.
Yes. I mean, did you wear your helmet for the whole claiming session, or was that just for social? Because that is, I was like, when I saw that, I was like, he really is into this game, boy.
Yeah. I got the helmet. I got it when I paid a stupid amount of money for Doom Eternal. Special edition.
Yeah, man.
I've got a little figure.
Really?
Of the dude, and I got a t-shirt as well.
You got the t-shirt? My Doom t-shirt. Yeah, from the last game, my Doom t-shirt got absolutely, I will reward the shit out of it, man. Also,
the thing is, wearing a Doom t-shirt now, that like sort of couples up as just where we are as a society as well. Just,
Yeah, it's a message.
Yeah.
It's retro.
Yeah.
It's new school at the same
Yeah,
time because the new
there's
game's out.
levels
It's
to
ticking all the boxes. Wear that and a pair of football boots, and you'll be absolutely nailing
You'll be
it.
the most fashionable guy there is.
Well, there you go. Well, look, Driss, I think it's time we wrap it up for this. Where can we find you on the social medias, please?
I am at Richie Driss. There's no T in Richie because that would be weird. RICHIE Driss Delta Romeo Indigo Sierra.
There you go. I'm Marcus Bronzy, MarcusBronzy everywhere. And we are How to Kill an Hour everywhere. Don't forget, if you want to send us your jokes in, jokes@howtokillanhour.com. That's jokes@howtokillanhour.com. And we might read out some of your stuff on our punishment episodes where you punish us with some puns. We got some big ones coming up in the next one, bruv.
Nice.
It's going to be nice or not so nice. Find out.